Those who make promises earlier in life find success more easily. The most fundamental thing is the promise itself, like being honest. If you want this quality to be strong, you must dare to promise, "I will always be honest. I will never lie." When you dare to make this promise to your children from a young age, they will naturally develop moral character as they grow up. The problem is, do we dare to make that promise? I remember the first president of South Korea, a Protestant Christian. When he took office, North and South Korea had just ended their war and were divided in two. North Korea aligned with China, while South Korea aligned with America. I'm not addressing politics here, but talking about promises. When he became president, he declared, "I will execute anyone who is corrupt, even if it's just for a penny." He dared to announce and promise that when stepping into his leadership position to ensure his leadership team remained incorrupt. To understand the nature of promises, you need to note that a true promise must achieve two important factors. The first factor is that the person must have moral integrity, and the second is that the person must have determination. Without determination and willpower, you won't dare to make promises. At Duke School, we call this an oath. One of the important oaths that young martial arts students must say is, "I am disciplined with myself." It's thanks to this oath that they can persevere in learning martial arts, because without it, they would feel very bored. When you make them hold stances, they feel pain. When you make them practice forms, they become tired and don't want to continue. But this is the rule of life. What is difficult, what is arduous, will forge a person, while things that are too favorable, too easy, cannot temper a strong character. When going on field trips or traveling with hundreds of children without the principle, "I am disciplined with myself," they would quickly fall into chaos. We make the children commit to this phrase every day right from when they are at school. On field trip days, we divide them into teams with clear rules. If just one child gets lost, the entire team is responsible, because they've committed to, "I am disciplined with myself." If a team member gets lost, the whole team bears responsibility. This naturally makes them take care of each other and no one gets lost. Even when traveling with hundreds of children, we don't encounter any cases of children going missing. I often observe some tour groups occasionally getting lost when entering forests, mainly because their organization isn't tight and they don't have clear promises from the beginning. One of the most important promises when we enter a forest or go to the sea is the commitment to protect nature. When entering a forest, we must promise to respect and protect it, what we call a commitment to the green forest. When guiding hundreds of children into the forest, we prepare commitment statements printed on paper. Each team receives a sheet with about 10 statements to read. When entering the forest, everyone stands around a 700-year-old ancient tree, forming multiple circles, and reads aloud the commitment to the green forest. This ritual creates a commitment to protect the forest, not litter, and live in interdependence with all beings rather than killing them. Without these promises, when seeing a rabbit running out in the forest, we might immediately think that would be tasty, shoot it, and barbecue it that evening. We only see the opportunity to kill rather than recognizing the interdependent relationship between all living beings. How can we love nature if we don't understand this? When we see a beautiful flower and want to pick it, that's a manifestation of the mind of craving. Why is it that when we see beauty, we don't let it exist intact? When we go into the forest and encounter beautiful things, we should leave them in peace. If we truly appreciate them, we can approach and smell their fragrance, rather than following our instincts and reaching out to pick them. Unfortunately, human psychology often operates this way. Therefore, if you haven't developed the ability to make and keep promises, it's truly regrettable. I encourage you to try to find promises from within yourself. If you don't have any yet, sit down and write them out. You should record 2 very fundamental promises. First promise, absolute honesty. Second promise, unconditional service. Service here means being ready to give, ready to help others, while absolute honesty is a commitment to never deceive. You might not be able to keep these promises 100%, but if you can maintain them 90% of the time, you're already far ahead of many people. If in your entire life you only lie a few times and tell the truth the rest of the time, you've already surpassed many others. Let's not get stuck in the thinking that keeping promises must be absolutely perfect. We aren't saints yet, so we can't keep every promise perfectly. If we can maintain a high percentage, that's already very good. At our school system, I have a typical example of keeping promises. When a teacher needed to go on a 12-day meditation retreat, they faced difficulties because they had 2 small children and didn't know who could look after them. Many of our teachers come from other provinces. They left their hometowns to work in Saigon at Tuduk. In some cases like this, they had divorced their husbands and had no relatives nearby. I advised them, now you're stuck because of your children. Go to the school's group chat and simply message, I need someone to take care of my 2 children for 12 days. Just enter that. That's how to put the truth on the table for everyone to see. Afterward, they can describe more about each child's characteristics, school, and specific needs while they're away meditating. The result was that after just a brief announcement, 5 teachers immediately volunteered. My house is near your rented place. Send the kids over to my house. At this point, I started to worry a little because male and female teachers have different care styles. If male teachers offered to help, I'd actually feel more at ease because they tend to be a bit more casual in caring for others' children. In contrast, female teachers tend to care for others' children more meticulously than their own, stemming from fear of gossip and wanting to save face. They might care for their own children at a level 7, but when someone else's children are entrusted to them, they try to provide level 10 care, and those 12 days can become 12 days of suffering for them. So I messaged the group, if you volunteer to serve others, serve on the foundation of honesty. Honesty here means, if your children eat instant noodles that day, then the others' children also eat instant noodles. If your children eat chicken that day, their children should also eat chicken. I forbid them from doing more than what they already provide, only allowing equal treatment, as if their family just gained 2 more members. Don't try too hard because that's just about saving face. And saving face isn't compatible with absolute honesty. I also told those leaving their children, when you entrust your children, you're giving them to others to raise however they do. That's honest. Don't make extra demands. Thanks to this spirit, 2 Duke school teachers can easily attend meditation courses because they can leave their children with colleagues. As for leaving husbands, that's a bit more dangerous, especially with handsome husbands. We need to be very careful. Though I say this at 2 Duke School, everything happens comfortably. Such promises seem simple but are extremely effective. All great people had promises from when they were young. Washington promised never to lie from his childhood. In America, there are 2 presidents famous for never lying. Washington and Lincoln. As for all the other presidents, jokingly speaking, they lie like Pinocchio. When politicians lack integrity, politics becomes crooked governance. True politics must be righteous governance. The path upward must be righteous. When politics isn't righteous, people have to weave back and forth, slither through. That's crooked, not straight.